Salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the roll call finds Commissioner Fawcett, Commissioner Ward here. And that constitutes quorum, so we will go on. Are there any additions to the agenda?
No, sir.
Mostly subtractions, I suppose.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
With the two items, if you wanted to take those off, the camp post discussion and the Marina dock repair.
No.
Yeah, that makes sense at the next meeting. Sounds good.
Yeah, okay. Those will not be discussed today. Okay, in terms of the next item, it's the consent agenda. I would
Move to adopt consent agenda A, B, and C.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Comments from the public. Tyler Ross is here? Yes.
Hello, I'm Tyler Ross. I am currently the St. Helens High School auto shop teacher. And I'd reached out to Amy about using some land for a high school trap shooting team. And they were kind of leery of having some minors with firearms on public property. So I wanted to bring kind of our league, the insurance policy when we register, just bring some more information and kind of open up more of a conversation to you guys about using your property. And she had some good ideas, and honestly, the Railroad Avenue property that she had brought up would almost be perfect with one entrance in, one entrance out, a lock gate. It's kind of, I think, a super fun site currently anyway. But we would definitely, regardless, be taking care of the area when we would get done with it. You know, sweeping up all the broken clays, and the clays are decomposable, but we'd still pick them up, and then all the plastic wads or any other trash that we would have around that property. The big thing is trying to get somewhere close enough to where the kids don't have to travel clear to Rainier currently. Rainier has a team. Scout Crew supposedly has a team. I've not actually seen that they actually have a registered team or not. Vernonia. But it's literally the safest sport any high school athlete can participate in right now. So there's been 0 injuries since 2008. So, and for me, there's a lot of kids in the school that have injuries that prevent them from playing ball sports. And this is a great alternative, or also kids with disabilities or, you know, male, female, and the league is awesome. It's all online. So I just wanted to give you guys some information, all the information there. So if we can just open a conversation, Amy has my contact information. So I figured if you guys just want to look that over and kind of give it some thoughts, this is kind of step one, just to get the ball rolling, because we have to have a place to do it before we do anything else. You can only have 10 players per coach, but for this year, we'd probably do 5 because only 5 at a time could be on each field. To actually be participating actively.
Okay.
But I do have at least 2 more teachers that would probably volunteer their time to help coach as well. So at first it'd be a first come, first serve type thing. And then if it got bigger, then we'd probably come, hey, we, you know, maybe use more of this area to maybe set up a second or third track field now that we have more coaches and instructors there to kind of help. But like I said, it's one of the biggest growing sports. It has so many opportunities for kids. They all have to be state certified through a safe program or hunter safety or something like that to even join the team. The coaches all have to take special training as well. So it's definitely a very, very safe sport. It's kind of as dangerous as it does sound. And there is big competitions every year. So I think it'd be a great opportunity. So I just want to see if you guys give it some thought. And then Amy has my contact info. You guys want to reach out and kind of open discussion on that. So I thank you very much. I got to get going back to school, but
Thank you. Yeah, have a good one.
Yeah. Okay, is there anyone online with Marshall thoughts? Questions?
Nope.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Nobody likes it.
Okay. Moving forward, we're going to pass over the Marina update today. And
Oh, actually, we're gonna do
Do
the
that.
Marina update, just not the other two,
Okay,
the two next door.
okay, so we'll do the Marina, we'll do the Marina update. Now, thank you.
Are you doing anything? Yeah, okay.
Planning committee.
Okay. I'm here in case there are questions. Okay, so we had our third Marina Planning Committee meeting. You were there. All the committee members were present, which was great, in person. We did a roundtable, but we started off with public comment, and we had one citizen who suggested, wanted to connect us with Fred's Marina to explore potential private management to bring down costs and change that dynamic for us. I know that a few folks internally did meet with them. More to come there, just preliminary discussions. And we also, Amy spoke with Cody James about expanding his duties and coming up with some type of agreement where he would handle more to help bring down our overhead operational costs there. So more to come again. The guy presented a financial model outlining the marina operations under current scenario versus without private mortgage. And that's available. So the whole recording is on our YouTube channel if you guys want to watch it. There's a lot of detail. And of course, we can answer any questions too. I don't want to go over everything because that recording is up there for the public also. That was interesting to look at those numbers. And Elizabeth did a status update just on current repairs, what we're looking at, you know, what we need to do, et cetera. Paul Langner had a really extensive, thorough presentation he put together. And I actually, rather than go through, as you can see, it's very thorough. I made copies for you guys to take home. And I can email that also to anyone who's not here. So you can look over that rather than reading a very lengthy, you already have it. There you go. If anyone else is interested, I have extras. And a few other key highlights. Of course, dredging remains an ongoing topic. We know that we can't afford it, but there are members of the committee that are still seeking out creative solutions to try to come up with something there. I think the biggest sensitivity that we need to consider is the two folks there whose primary residence are their floating homes. And that is something that, you know, keeps me up at night surrounding those meetings. So I just want to put a plug in there for that. The next meeting is February 23rd. And do you have any questions for me?
No, it was a very good meeting. I listened and I mean, you've got some good advice, lots of advice.
A lot of ideas and a lot of, you know, just discussion about addressing current operations, considering long-term infill and trying to come up with creative solutions, but bring down our costs to make it more affordable either way. Yeah. Anything else? Oh, we're exploring the camp host too. We are moving forward with that. Commissioner Sorber requested a follow-up on that one. So we're looking even further into that. And, you know, just trying to, he's also looking into, I think everyone knows this, but getting alternative quotes for repairing the docks. And those were on the agenda, but as he is not here, we don't have updates for those two items that were on there. So yeah, I guess that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good job, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Okay, airport update. Let's see.
Good morning.
Quick slide deck. Go back a couple slides. There we go.
Good morning, commissioners. The Runway Rehabilitation Project, as a reminder, the runway is scheduled to be closed beginning June 8th and will remain closed for up to 90 days. Substantial completion is scheduled for August 22nd and September 6th, final completion and reopening. And then on April 7th, save the date, we will be hosting an open house for the community. And this will be an opportunity for anybody from the airport community or just our county to come in and ask questions and learn more about the project. Any questions?
Yes.
Yes.
At 5 p.m.
Mhm.
and at Intercept.
At Intercept.
Okay.
They have generously offered to let us use.
Yes, that's very nice.
Space. Next slide. East Side pavement maintenance. So as a part of FAA's bipartisan infrastructure law and legislation, BIL, the East Side Taxiway pavement maintenance project has reached 90% design completion. The 1533 runway was originally paved in 1943 as an emergency landing strip during World War II and was extended to its current 5,100 feet length in 2000. This project, the East Side pavement maintenance, focuses on Taxiway A, I have a photo, south of Taxiway Alpha 3, and intended to extend the life of the aging pavement through preventative maintenance. Can you go to the next slide, please? Here we go. So here's our beautiful runway, taxiways. You can see Taxi Alpha on the north or the top side of the runway. That's actually east. The yellow line indicates where the pavement maintenance will occur. So it is, it's technically from the hangar buildings. It's hard to see, but it's that north to south. And then each of those connectors will be crack sealing and slurry application on those. Any questions?
More grant money, obviously coming.
Yeah. Yes, so following the final 100% design completion, the port will advertise the project for an invitation to bid. The most responsible bidder is selected and the construction timeline will then be established. As discussed prior to meeting, my goal is to align this project as best as possible with the runway rehabilitation closure. That will depend on who is selected as the contractor. But that is, my goal is to kind of try to get them to be happening at the same time.
Mhm.
But again, that's tricky. I'm gonna try. Any questions?
It wouldn't possibly make it go longer.
No, they're separate projects. And this project wouldn't have any kind of closure like
Okay.
90 days.
Okay.
When we did the West Side pavement maintenance, I think we were closed for 2 half days.
Okay. So worst case scenario.
Yeah, worst case scenarios would be maybe 2 days, but because of the weather, it ended up being 2 halves. And they usually start like at 6 a.m. and we don't have a lot of traffic that early in the morning out there. So it was minimally impactful to our users.
Good.
Next slide. And then Lindsay is working with the Scappoose Historical Society for an evening of stories and memories at the Red Barn. So save the date, March 19th at 7 p.m. She's putting together, gathering users from the airport and community members to share stories from our 80-year history. I will be there presenting some of the modern history and some of the fun stuff I've found digging through port files over the last few years. So please save the date for that.
That is so cool. Like,
It was there's a couple other people, not Janet, but Renee and sorry, I can't think of her name right now. They reached out and asked if we would be interested to share the history of the airport, and so I'm reaching out
oh
to.
my gosh, that's absolutely fabulous.
So we got to think about doing historical roadshows with the different sites of
Absolutely.
different areas that are affected. So hopefully we get.
Joanne is what I was thinking of, Joanne and Renee.
Okay.
Yes.
Very nice.
Okay,
More
7
than-
p.m.
Yes, I will be there.
Any questions about the runway or the airport or
Any feedback from anyone?
some of our tenants have reached out about the T hangar tenants. Let me be clear. Some of our T hangar tenants have reached out about the rent
Yes.
during the closure, and I have encouraged them to come to meetings Please give public comment. Please share and educate the commissioners on what it means to have their aircraft outside.
Yeah, I was really hoping we'd have some today.
Me too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. No other updates.
Okay. And do you know if anyone has chosen to go to Pearson?
No, I'm actually putting together a survey that will be up on our website, which will distribute to our T-hanger tenants, asking them if they're planning on leaving, where they're planning on going, just kind of some general information. And then sharing that if, you do decide to stay at Scappoose, that please consider using our two businesses to do some maybe annual maintenance and you're going to stay and you can't fly, maybe get some
Clean house
or get some annual maintenance done. So tenants can move east to west throughout the project on scheduled days will be allowed.
Cool. And you haven't had any feedback about anybody moving?
I mean, just they don't like that we're doing this.
Oh, well, we don't like that we're doing it. Yeah, nobody likes.
Our friends at the Port of Astoria actually reached out to us to see if they could help, so.
Yeah, really?
They also have
That's nice.
tie down space available for the same amount.
But not covered.
No, no one has covered.
Yeah, nobody has covered available. Wow, we need to build more covered.
We do,
Yeah.
certainly do.
Thank you very much. Okay, the Lignetics update. Oh,
Still in the holding pattern, waiting for this isn't a good example, but wait for the weather to change back to the prevailing wind shifting. Jan, do you have anything you'd like to come up and share? Or are you anxiously anticipating what we are able to learn?
I'm just hopeful that they can move forward quickly in terms of getting the new bag house set up. Do we have an update on that?
I'll get Stephen here to provide an update at next month's meeting. So I'll let him share what the status is on that.
Great, thank you.
Commissioners, we're talking about committee and organization assignments. I wonder, since we're missing two.
Yeah.
Let's
Put that on hold
on
too.
old business D. Okay, is that?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
You're great. Okay. On to new business. Resolution 2026-07, Budget Committee, reappointing Rachel Berry and Barbara Gadati.
I would move approval of resolution 2026-07.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Resolution 2026-08, Airport Report Headquarters, mowing contract, staff report, and First Amendment to mowing contract. Lacey.
Oh. Hello again. In January 2025, the port entered into a one-year contract with Their Roots Land and Home. After a lengthy RFP process, both parties agreed to a one-year contract based on the learning curve associated with mowing our properties, specifically the airport. The port was very satisfied with the service provided and has decided to extend the contract another 18 months, increasing the total amount of the contract to exceed Executive Director spending authority. Any questions? Kyle Melton is here. So recommendation of resolution 2026-08, approving the First Amendment to Scappoose Airport mowing contract with Bare Roots.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Thanks, Kyle.
Thank you.
Good, great work.
Thank you.
Yep.
I'll just stay.
and the next one, Resolution 2026-09.
New minimum standards. So general aviation minimum standards establish a baseline requirements for business and operators at an airport and at Scappoose Airport. Their purpose is to ensure safe, fair, and non-discriminatory operations while maintaining compliance with federal aviation regulations and the obligation tied to FAA grant funding. In short, they set the rules so the airport operates safely, legally, and consistently for everyone. The port originally adopted the minimum standards in 1999 with Resolution 99-7, with amendments in 2007 to address through the fence agreements, and banner towing, which is, if you don't know what that is, it's
Right.
banners being
Oh,
long behind.
just what it sounds like.
Just what it says.
Marry me.
When was the last time you saw one of those?
A long time
I
ago.
can't even remember. Well, these standards, so operations, and that was again in 2009. Well, these standards have served the airport well. They no longer fully reflect current operations, industry practices, or future growth at the airport. Over the past year, airport staff, Ms. Bynum and myself, undertook a comprehensive review to modernize the standards. The work was done in collaboration with Aaron Fagry and Associates, Century West Engineering, Port General Counsel, and the Scapus Airport Advisory Committee. The only significant change in the updated minimum standards, aside from the name on the front and from the Port of St. Helens, Port Columbia County, is their safety elements. These updates better align with the standards, with modern airport operations, FAA expectations, without materially changing the business and operational access to the field. The airport committee completed a full review at its July 28th, 2025 meeting, voted to recommend the adoption of the revised, amended, and restated minimum standards. Recommendation to adopt resolution 2609.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So much.
Amy.
Morning, commissioners.
Good morning.
Okay, so in tandem, I'm bringing forward resolution 2026-10. So through a same timeline, 3-year process of review, revision, we worked in coordination, as Lacey said, with our contract engineers at Century West, Aaron Fagry, the Airport Advisory Committee, port staff, and general counsel. And I'm really happy to present these new consolidated and revised airport use permit rules and procedures. This is for all future through the fence access at Scapus Airport. The goal at staff level when we undertook this process was to make the rules and procedures really clear, very fair, and safe for all users. They're consistent with our contracting best practices now. So there are elements that are in all of our leases and other agreements that will now be incorporated through this resolution into future airport use permit agreements. And this resolution does repeal the fee schedule so that it gives us more flexibility to negotiate individual agreements based on the circumstances of the user instead of an overly prescriptive and potentially ill-fitting fee schedule. The term limit stays at 30 years, which is from the 2023 provision that you most recently voted on when we had the meeting at the airport. And there's an updated application within the resolution that was developed by port staff that's ready to go should any interested party come to us wanting access from private property to the airport. So with that, I recommend very excitedly approval of this resolution that is long time in the making of new rules and procedures for airport use permits.
So moved.
Well, I have just one question. So there is no mention in anything written about what a minimum fee, there's no mention of money at all?
No, there's no mention of any money. What will be our guiding principle is the fairness standard that we're held to by the FAA. So it will give us more leeway to compare what it is that their use type is to existing tenants on the airfield, basically.
But to get any idea of what a fee would be, they would actually have to pick up the phone and call us rather than finding anything online.
Yes, that's true. Yes. Which is similar to how we negotiate leases, to be honest. And it's very common when you look at, when you're considering taking down a piece of real estate, I would say almost never list a per square foot price on their flyers or on their websites. It always says, call the broker.
I know.
Right?
And I always find that so irritating.
It is a little irritating. I think that we internally have some time to develop kind of our own standards of what we would expect. And so much of it, and we were talking to Brian about this over the weekend, so much of it really depends on the weight of the aircraft. And so that will be staff's guiding principle, because the weight of the aircraft and then the frequency to which it's driving over the pavement, that's the impact that it has on the airport, is the cracking of the pavement. So I think that we should have a pretty good idea pretty quickly once we get someone's application and understand their use.
So you foresee it being based on the weight?
Weight and frequency. So if you have a behemoth, but you're only taking it in once a year,
right?
That's different than if you have mid-size that are coming every day.
So is there language to that effect that will be on the website?
Would you commissioners recommend such?
I would certainly recommend,
but
I would, well,
they,
yeah, I mean, you're not making it anything other than this is what it's going to be based on. Seems like a reasonable thing rather than just leaving everything blank.
But it's all part of a larger conversation with.
Of course.
The tenant with the lease and those kind of negotiations as well. So I mean, we could put down some basic education.
If it said something like fees will be negotiated individually subject to weight and frequency, is that a fair compromise?
Yeah, because again, I come back to when a person is doing a search online and you get absolutely no understanding and not even a hint of what the fee is going to be based on, I just think it's a turnoff. It is to me. Of course, I've never done it in an airport, but it just seems reasonable that there is some hint of how we're going to be basing our pricing.
Just text on the screen. Text on the screen. Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you. And Elliot, resolution 2026-11.
Did you officially second that?
I did officially.
All right.
Yes.
Good morning, Commissioners. Resolution 2026-11 authorizes the port to apply for and set aside matching funds for a Department of Transportation, better utilizing investments to leverage development, BUILD grant program. BUILD is a $1.5 billion program that provides grants of up to $25 million for transportation infrastructure projects with a significant local regional impact. The program covers a very wide range of projects and is not specifically aimed at ports infrastructure, so we anticipate a large number of competing projects. Partial list of eligible projects includes highway and bridge projects, public transportation projects, passenger and freight rail, port infrastructure investments, surface transportation components of an airport project. This isn't even all of them. And they even have a catch-all that reads, any other surface transportation infrastructure project that the Secretary of Transportation considers to be necessary to advance the program's goals. Applications are due February 24th. Slide. Our intended scope of work will mirror what we applied for on our PIDP grant application last fall. Because of government shutdowns, we are still waiting for the results of that application. If we are successful for BUILD, funds would be used for planning, permitting, and design for the complete modernization and seismic improvement of both berths, extending the pipe bridge through the lagoon, demolition sufficient to mitigate the pipe bridge extension. Next slide. So there are two components to what we're going to apply for. This slide depicts the planning, permitting, and design portion of the project. We will be permitting the replacement and modernization of berth 2, sections of berth 1, the two approaches and associated groundwork, in addition to the pipe bridge extension. On this slide, you can see the replacement sections in orange, new sections in pink, and the blue line across the lagoon represents the pipe bridge extension. The brown boxes on the shore represent groundwork. Next slide. So this is the second component, which is the physical construction. It involves extending the pipe bridge and placing product pipelines, vapor recovery, and inert gas lines on the new structure, which is shown in blue. This will place pipelines on a seismically designed modern structure in the lagoon off the old wooden dock, moving them away from passing vessels and providing flexibility for implementing future phases of the project. Groundwork at the base of the 2024 pipe bridge is shown here in brown. That's at the base of the downstream approach and the new pipe bridge on the left side there. And the final section, physical construction would actually be the demolition of the rail trestle or downstream approach for the removal of pilings as required to mitigate the pipe bridge extension. And so what I'm talking about there, you may recall there's an old rail trestle that is off to the left of berth 2 there. And the remaining section of the downstream approach where the barge hit last in November 2023. Slide. How much will this cost? Our current estimate is 25 million. However, we are still working on the grant application, related schedules, and tenant matches. Therefore, I've drafted the resolution based on a $26 million budget as a contingency. This program does not require recipients or projects in rural areas to provide matching funds. However, this program does consider the size of the match when evaluating applications. And due to the time constraints of our Connect Oregon grant, we wanted to put ourselves in the best position for success by maximizing our match. This is very similar to the approach we took with PIDP. Based on a $26 million budget, our grant application will be between $15 and $20 million, subject to tenant matches. Port's match would come from the Connect Oregon grant and the Port Westward Capital Improvement Fund. Another source could be port tax revenue. For these reasons, staff recommends that the commission approve resolution 2026-11, which authorizes our grant application and sets aside up to $5 million, including our Connect 2.7 million Connect Oregon grant for use as matching funds. Slide. Do you have any questions?
No, that's, wow. Move to approve resolution 2026-11.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you very much.
Get the money.
When will we find out?
I believe June, and the PIDP, we may find out very soon. They asked us. Responded. So maybe a couple of weeks on that one. The two groups do communicate, so it's not like we would get 26 and 26.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, that would be very nice and make my life easier, but no. It wouldn't work that way.
Okay, thanks.
Commissioners, if I may, this highlights another issue. As you may have heard Elliot talk about all the different eligible project applicants, which is really frustrating for ports because as I mentioned at the OPPA caucus, which the two of you are at, we don't have any dedicated source of funding for ports at the state or federal level. And it's really frustrating. It's something that if I have any say in my time as a port director that I would like to help fix, at least at the state level, and then also actually leverage federal help as well, because we're all facing the same issues with infrastructure that just gets older. And it's a little challenging to try to compete with other modes of transit for necessary infrastructure that ports are. So.
Absolutely.
Yep, agreed. I appreciated your leadership in bringing that up at the caucus. That's a great point.
Hard to believe that.
Such
It's really hard to believe.
industry.
Yes,
Yeah, exactly.
yes. With the river and the ocean, and yet it's like it's forgotten, which is inexplicable. Thanks.
Oh, it is my turn. Thank you.
It's your turn.
Yeah, as I mentioned, OPPA, Oregon Public Ports Association Ports Caucus was held during the Special Districts Association of Oregon Annual Conference, which was very well attended, over 780 people down in Seaside on a weekend to learn about public special districts and how to be on boards and different challenges we all face. And I'm sure you guys will have something to say about it as well, but I always find it very interesting. We had Amy was down there, Lacey was down there, Commissioners Ward and Commissioner Fawcett were there. And it was just a really good opportunity. And I like to make it a point to sit at different tables and meet folks. And every time I do, I learn something really cool, which I sat next to some of Deschutes Fire District folks and learned some really creative taxing things they do, which nothing we would do, but it was really some outside the box thinking that people came up with to define this fire district. And just fascinating because you go to these things and you realize there's a lot of older people there. And I was talking with folks and we're a little nervous because it's getting older and, we need some young people to volunteer. And sadly, a lot of these boards are volunteer and we're just kind of seeing folks not as interested in getting involved. So there'll be efforts to try to encourage folks to step up and get involved in the volunteering on these boards because they're very important. The president of SDAO got up and talked about how he went across the state with his family on a vacation and hit all these different special districts, providing water and sewer places, all the things you take for granted when you visit places that aren't big cities like Portland, because they don't use special districts, right? They have their own water and sewer, but these smaller communities that need somebody to step up and do a road department or we need water. And so he talked about hitting all these different communities and how to realize the value of special districts. So it's a really great organization to do some great training and highly encourage folks to get down there to learn about boardsmanship and just hearing about what other folks are facing in special districts. So not even just ports. So that's very helpful. That was a good weekend. That was just last weekend. You see my calendar.
Time flies, huh?
You see my calendar there. I don't know if you have any questions. I didn't put on there. We are closed Monday for President's Day. The 19th, is that right? Or 16th? 16th, thank you. I didn't get that on there. I'll get it on there before I send out the digital copy to you. And Commissioner Fawcett, thank you again for holding me accountable. These will come out the Friday before the meeting. You'll see the department reports attached. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those. Call me or ask me now if you have any questions. I'm trying to think of anything of note on here that yes, of course, Sidell. Hope she's listening, maybe? No, probably not. 20-year anniversary coming up at the end of this month. He's our longest tenured port employee, has the most history, and we're
He knows where all the bodies are.
yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're happy to have Sidell here for 20 years. And I think we've got the next closest is Miriam Adam is at 17. He'll be 18 years, I think, next year. And then it's Miriam and I at 11 years this year, 12 years this year. So I taken a picture of a phone card that we print out here in the office that has everybody's numbers on it and commissioners. And not including commissioners, 5 years ago today, we have 11 new staff that are, so people cycled out, retired, left for other jobs. So I only highlight that because, we do have a challenge with institutional knowledge sometimes. And it's nice having people like Robert and, people like Chip that's been here for a long time and have history about what's happened around here because we don't know everything. And we've done a really good job with Lacey working on getting records digitized. I think there's next level stuff we can do with that, potentially using some AI to help us query our own network drive and figure out, learn things that maybe would be a little harder to find. So look forward to some technological breakthroughs on that. But along those lines, even more important than that, I would say is, and Guy will be teeing this up here coming next budget season, but it's something we want to keep on our radar is we're going to be updating our financial system. The system we have, Great Plains, is going to cease to be supported. And the next the recommended product is Business Central, a Microsoft product, which will be hopefully integrate a lot of stuff. We already know some port friends that are using this software and they're doing stuff on their phone that we would just dream to do, like balance sheets and profit and loss statements and things like that. So not that you'd really want to do that on your phone, but you could start the report on your phone and have it do it for you. So that's going to be a pretty big lift. It's going to take some time and effort. We may hire a consultant for some help because you have to export a really good file and go into it nice and clean with good data. So a little bit ahead of the game. I just want to get your mind going. We're looking at efficiencies and things like that all the time. And Guy, I know, is really looking forward to having a more intuitive financial system that we can utilize and get reporting that we need and would like to have. So department-based budgets, all the kind of stuff that are very labor intensive on his side as far as being able to export and filter and sort and do some different things. So that'll be exciting. Software is exciting. Any questions on my?
No, very interesting.
We do have Pacific Northwest Waterways mission to Washington coming up in April. That is later in the year, and I know some of you are pondering that. Currently, it's going to be Lindsay, myself, Bob likely. We could send 4. We could just send 3. We can decide that. We got a little bit of time, but it's time to start getting some rooms. So we may just get 4 rooms and hold those. We'll figure out who wants to go. And then you can see on their Scappoose Town Meeting, March 7th. And I believe we're going to have a booth there, right?
Yeah, Lacey and I.
All right. March 7th is Saturday. It's a really good event here at Scappoose, usually at the high school, I believe it is.
Yeah, and I usually sign me up. Yeah.
One other thing, commissioners, I wanted to let you know about is we just with an email blast Lindsay received from DEQ, we found out that Orpet and Stella Jones have DEQ violations, stormwater violations at their site. So they have warning letters that were sent to them. It's public information. And we just reminded them with a friendly reminder we have to know about those violations and not hear about them from the state when they get those. So we will follow up with them and make sure they're correcting because while it is not our stormwater permit, it is our property and we don't want our tenants sending out stuff into the water.
What was the date of the letter?
It was early this month, right?
Yeah, it was an alert within the last week.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll forward it over to you.
Yeah.
So you guys have it.
Good. Thank you.
That's it.
Commissioners, anything?
Yes, well, the SDAO meeting was as usual, really good. And for me, attending the board section of it was a really good reminder. They suggest that we review our policies every 2 to 4 years. I've been on the board for 7 years and we've never done it. So I think Brian and
Board policies.
Well, and just general policies altogether. And to think that we have never done it. Our meetings are usually about current issues and there aren't a lot of meetings about planning. Strategic planning. There aren't a lot of meetings about policy updates. And so that's what the second meeting is for in the month. I know that there is a huge resistance to second meetings, but that's the purpose of those second meetings. And it just seems to me like we need to utilize them. My suggestion. Thanks. You're welcome.
I would agree the SDAO conference was really good. The board governance sessions, the legislative updates, really helpful. I did notice, because I'm in agreement on the policy stuff and making sure we keep those updated. It looks like we're already on the personnel manual that's in process. So that's great. Sounds like an opportunity for board policy, whether that needs to be at the second meeting or can be done, a couple policies at a time during our normal meetings. I'm kind of open to, but if we want to, do a bunch of them all at once, a second meeting might be helpful to do it. I do think that's something important to take on. So other than that, I don't know if I have any other updates.
And for me, it was the Scappoose Bay Marina, which was very, very good. I mean, it's talented people in charge and being there. So, okay. Hey, I think we are going to have an executive session, so.
It's time. The script.
The Board of Columbia County will now meet in executive session pursuant to ORS 192. Get up with me a little bit. 602.
Hey, everybody.
You're getting on record, so to exempt public records, including written legal advice from Port General Counsel. Representatives of the news media and designated staff are allowed to attend. Representatives of the news media are specifically directed not to report on this or any executive session. Port Commission will return to open session after the executive session will announce any decisions. We do not expect any decisions to be made. Any persons excluded from executive session are welcome to return when open session is resumed. Thank you. Recording. Get it.
We're now open and we are now closed.